everyone, and welcome to the On Demand Speaker Zone. My name is April Waterston and I'm a journalist at Onboard Hospitality magazine. In this session, I'll be talking to Sarah Klatt-Walsh, an onboard industry expert with over 30 years of airline and catering experience. Since January of this year, Sarah has been working as an independent consultant, primarily supporting FORMIA on their sustainability journey. In case you didn't know, FORMIA offers tailor-made in-flight amenities, including bags, skincare, comfort items, and children's products. As well as addressing passenger needs during the ongoing global pandemic, FORMIA has remained dedicated to finding relevant solutions to global issues such as the climate crisis. So to support their endeavours, the company has brought on board GlobeScan, a sustainability consultancy. And so also with us today is Wanda Meijer, Director of GlobeScan. So to begin, Sarah, could you tell us a bit about FORMIA's journey to become more sustainable?
First, let me just say thank you, April, so much for having us here with you today and letting us talk about FORMIA's sustainability journey. It is quite exciting. Kind of when I think about how did this all start, I think that FORMIA really realized a while ago that they were a bit behind on the topic of sustainability, and that they were really motivated then to make a change and to try to reduce their impact on the environment. And they thought they were in a great position to do this given their scale and their leadership position in the industry. So I was brought on board about a year ago to support them with this. And I have to say it's been a fascinating journey. The entire team has been just really great to work with, very motivating, very professional. And then kind of the pandemic came, and that really put a dent in things. And so although it was slow to some extent for a few months, I think what's really great is that both the CEO and the top management were very much committed to continuing despite the situation. And they really understood the significance of and the need to continue with it. So that was great news. And I think when you think about sustainability, it is just really omnipresent today. It's you see it everywhere, and certainly the airlines have also embraced sustainability. And FORMIA has seen with a lot of the tenders that they receive that there's just a lot of requests for sustainable solutions, even in these challenging times. And so as we would kind of think COVID might just kind of really slow the pace, that's actually, I think, been the opposite. And I personally, I think that will continue as we move forward, because people are really understanding today, I think, just the connection between the health of the planet and the health of people. And that really spawns us on at FORMIA to do whatever we can to help contribute to the global solution.
Okay, great. I think that's a really great point you've made about the connection of sort of the health of the planet and the health of people. It's really relevant more now than ever. So what has guided FORMIA's journey so far?
I think the guidance has really been, I would say, just again, that commitment from the company that they really want to make a shift. And when we started working on this, we kind of realized, wow, this is kind of going to be much bigger and more complex than we originally thought. And we realized we needed additional assistance. And that's when we brought GlobeScan on board, I think it was around springtime. And they are helping us basically develop our strategic framework. And it's, I would say, a three-step process where you start working first on kind of a landscape analysis to kind of understand the industry and where you sit within that, onto the materiality assessment and through to the actual development of the strategic framework. And that's been a super interesting process because it's given us, I think, some really solid and invaluable insights from our key stakeholders, be that the airlines, brands, our suppliers, NGOs, other experts. It's just kind of, yeah, the whole community has given us really valuable insights. But I think I'm not really the expert on this. Wanda is, so I would like to at this point pass on to Wanda from GlobeScan, who would tell you a bit more about the process.
Thank you, Sarah. April, shall I take it over from here?
Yes, please do. Yes.
Okay, so how we, first of all, it was, to be very fair, a bit of a surprise that FORMIA came to us. I think it was, yeah, March or April, just the start of the pandemic. And of course, the aviation sector was very hardly hit, and it was a bit odd that, well, we found it was not odd, of course, but it was a surprise to us. And Since then, it has been really a great journey to work at FORMIA because, yes, as you've said, the management was very committed and very, I would say, pushing forward to make this journey happen. How this journey works in general, indeed, we started landscape review, so we see what our clients do and the competition is doing, but also what the best in class are doing. I mean, in general, these are companies like Unilever, IKEA, you know, the companies really leading in sustainability. And when we develop a sustainability development strategy, we have to make sure it becomes part of business. This is not like in the old days, a separate CSR department or philanthropy. Nowadays, sustainability is a core part of your business. And for a core part of the business, we look at a tool called as a materiality, meaning that which issues are material for the future of the company, and particularly in the eyes of the main stakeholders. Now, the main stakeholders from FORMIA obviously are employees, suppliers, but predominantly airlines. So we spoke to all the major airlines, all the clients from FORMIA, what they believe are the material issues going forward to develop a very robust, sustainable strategy. So basically, a materiality is basically what are the building blocks for a strategy and which ones do you need to prioritize going forward? Because if you look to the future of a business, there are, of course, 20, 30 things you need to look at, but a few things are more important than others. And those are the big material issues. And the biggest material issue for FORMIA was plastic. So we came down to, if you really want to become more sustainable, you have to make sure that plastic is basically reduced in their products, in their offering. And that has been the first and utmost point, according to stakeholders from FORMIA, as the biggest material issue. So that's a bit about the process, and that's a bit what came eventually out of it in going forward as the main issue. And of course, it sounds simple, plastic, reduce it, but getting it done and how to become more circular, making sure that I eventually end up with no plastic waste, it's a complicated process. And this is the starting, I think, the first stages for FORMIA working on it.
Okay, great. Well, thank you very much, Wanda. Following on from that, Sarah, could you maybe tell us a bit more about FORMIA's first major sustainability initiative, which was announced recently, concerning bringing recycled plastics on board?
FORMIA has realized early on that they needed to take a big step, again, because they were coming from behind the industry, and they wanted to make a big impact. So kind of as a natural first step, they looked at sustainable materials. And out of that was born the idea of the recycled socks and eye shades using rPET. So we're really excited to be launching this truly industry first, whereby FORMIA is replacing 100% of virgin polyester in all socks and eye shades with recycled PET fabrics. Of course, this is where the material is polyester virgin. If airlines are using something different, they don't have to change, but we're allowing them to change. And what's really unique here is that FORMIA is also absorbing the additional cost. This does not come free of charge for FORMIA, but FORMIA thinks it's important for the industry to kind of kickstart these topics to take the lead here. So the customers are currently being contacted to see when that transition will happen. Looks like the first customer transition will take place in spring of 2021, and other airlines will follow afterwards. Given the situation with the pandemic, obviously there's very slow moving inventories, so this whole process could take a while, but again, we're getting started and moving forward with it. Excuse me. Something else I'd like to add to this, I think is really key, is that the recycled PET fabric is certified by the GRS, the Global Recycling Standard. That is a very reputable certification body, and we think it's really important to be able to provide this transparency in order to build trust with our airline partners. But of course, it doesn't stop there. This is really very much just the beginning. And GlobeScan is looking at a very holistic sustainability strategy, from sustainable materials through to circulatory processes. You know, think about recycling, think about upcycling, refurbishing. We really want to kind of take it to the next step here, through to supply chain responsibility and transparency, as well as creating really meaningful partnerships with all of our partners. And we think that will help us support the communities in which we operate in, as well as, of course, the planet in which we all thrive. So again, this is a journey. It won't happen overnight, but we definitely have the motivation, and thanks to GlobeScan as well, I think a good plan in place to make it happen. The first initiative was the RPET initiative, but again, it's just the first. More to come in 2021, so do watch this space.
Thank you, Sarah. I think you very appropriately labeled this as a journey. I mean, because a sustainability strategy is not just, you know, a one-off thing, what you do, and then you can get on with it. If you look to leaders in sustainability, and well-known companies like Unilever or Patagonia or IKEA are known as leaders in sustainability. And what they do is continuously updating their material issues, updating their strategy, and going a step further. And at a certain point of time, being a leader in sustainability also means being a leader in the business, and vice versa. You can't separate these two things anymore. So it is a great business strategy, but it's a journey. It's never finished. You can always do better. The same as a business is never finished. Sustainability is never finished too. So it has been a pleasure working with you on this journey. I'd like to give you back the compliments and the friendliness, because it really has been a friendly journey so far. And hopefully we can really travel a bit in the future, not just journeys on paper in Zoom, but also having real travel again and seeing your products actually in an airplane. Absolutely. That would be great.
That would be very nice. Thank you, Wanda.
Thank you so much, Sarah, and thank you again for Wanda for taking the time to talk to me today. It's really exciting to know that the sustainability conversation is still very much at the forefront of our industry. And I'm really excited to hear what comes out of 2021 for FORMIA. It sounds like there's lots of really exciting things in the works. To find out more about FORMIA's sustainability journey and the products and services that they provide, make sure to head to their booth in the in-flight hall and talk to a member of their team. So thanks again, Sarah, and thanks again, Wanda, and thank you to everyone for watching.